Hello everyone, welcome back to Chinmoy's Biology channel. So this is for my 7th ICSE biology students. Today I am going to teach photosynthesis. So it's a very important lesson. If you get the clear concept of photosynthesis now, in the higher classes also you will be dealing with the same topic in a bit detailed manner. So let's get started without further delay, and dear students, please don't skip the lesson in between because there are many important facts and topics which I'll be discussing throughout the episode. So stay tuned throughout the episode and watch till the end. So let's get started. So what we are going to study today, we will be studying today about what is photosynthesis, structure of stomata, raw materials required during photosynthesis, leaf as a photosynthetic organ. So we will be discussing this four in today's class, and in the next class we will be discussing the process of photosynthesis, factors affecting photosynthesis, significance of photosynthesis, and three experiments. One, to test the presence of starch in leaves. Second, that why is light necessary for photosynthesis, to show this one. And the third one is the test that shows chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. So these are for the next class. Okay, so in today's class we will be discussing about this four concepts. So to know about the next class, you need to subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for the updates which I'll be posting. And for today's class, please stay tuned till the end and don't skip in between. So let's get started. So now let's come to the term photosynthesis. Photosynthesis, if we divide the term, it is photo and synthesis, right? So photo means light and synthesis is meaning putting together. So you are putting something together, okay, in presence of light. So just think, plants, they cannot move, but they need food to survive and grow. So they can't move from one place to another to buy food, to collect food. Like animals, they can't prey on animals also. So but how do they manage their food? Who helps them? So the answer is that plants are the most independent living thing on earth. They make their own food without help of any people. So they are having kitchen in their own body. No need to go somewhere, buy some vegetables and all and then cook in your kitchen. Not like that. They are having their own kitchen within their body, and they are taking the raw ingredients from the nature itself, from the air, from the soil and all, and they are making the food within their body. So what they are doing, the green plants are producers or autotrophs, right? So plants are using the sunlight, the water and the carbon dioxide which is present in the air to manufacture their food, and this process of making food is called photosynthesis. Is it clear to all of you? Now, carbon dioxide plus water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll gives what? Glucose and oxygen. So these are the end products which are produced during photosynthesis. So this oxygen is reused by all the animals in the universe. Oxygen we are using is produced from the plants during the process of photosynthesis. So this is clear to all of you now. So we are seeing that plants are producing their food, that is glucose, with the help of carbon dioxide, water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. So let us see what else plant is doing. So glucose is transported from the leaves to other parts of the plant. It is also converted into starch and stored in various storage organs within the plant. Okay. So oxygen released during photosynthesis is used by all organisms to breathe. So this starch which is formed during glucose which is formed during photosynthesis is converted into starch in the plant and is stored in various storage organs within the plant itself. Okay, so it is converted and stored in the form of starch. So leaf is actually the site of photosynthesis. It is taking water, chloroplast is there in the leaves, that is the chlorophyll cell, the cells which are having chlorophylls, that is the in the chloroplast cell, and the sunlight is being absorbed and which produces sugar in the leaves and in presence of carbon dioxide as well. So this is the kitchen of the plant. So what is the kitchen of the plant? So this leaf is called the kitchen of the plant. Okay, so let's move on now. Now, what is the structure of stomata? So stomata, these are the tiny pores present on the surface of the leaves, and they are mainly on the underside of the lower epidermis and sometimes on the upper surface as well, but mainly they are present on the lower surface of the leaf. So if this is the leaf, if this is the upper part, it will be present on the lower part of the leaf. So it is having guard cells. In the next slide, I'll show you with the diagram of this stomata. Here you just go through this. What are guard cells? Each stoma, that is single stomata, is surrounded by two bean-shaped cells called guard cells. So if this is the whole, it will be guarded by two bean-shaped cells which are called the guard cells, okay, and which control the opening and closing of the pore. So these guard cells, if they are filled with water, if they are hard enough, they'll contract and then relax if they are not having that water. So on that basis, on the shape of this bean shaped guard cells, the opening and the closing of the stomata is happening, right? So that I'll move on in the next step. I'll tell you. Now, shape of the guard cells: in dicot cells, the guard cells are kidney shaped, but whereas in monocot cells, the guard cells are dumbbell shaped. Okay, so the shape also varies from dicot to monocot plants. So cell wall: the inner cell walls of guard cells are thicker and less elastic, while the outer cell walls are thinner and more flexible. So outer cell walls are more flexible than the inner walls. So the inner walls are thicker and they are less flexible, whereas the outer walls are thinner and they are more flexible. So it's done. Now comes the chloroplast. So unlike most epidermal cells, guard cells contain chloroplasts which help them to produce energy during photosynthesis. So chloroplasts is helping them to produce energy during photosynthesis. Chloroplasts are the cell which contain chlorophyll. So chlorophyll containing cells in leaves are called chloroplasts. So let us see the structure of stomata now. So this is the structure of the stomata. Now you can see that they are guarded by cells which are called the guard cells. Okay. So when these guard cells are filled with water, full of water, they are swollen, and which makes the stomata open. But when the guard cells lose water, they lose their turgidity, the stomata closed. So it is a condition when they are filled with water. So when filled with water, then what will happen? The stomatal cells will be open. But when they lose water, okay, so when they lose their turgidity, okay, so when they lose their turgidity, what will happen? They will become closed. Okay, so they are closed now. The cells are closed now. So normally it remains open during the day. So it will be open during the day normally, and at night it will be closed. So during the day it will be open and at night it will be closed. So these are the general conditions of stomata, because photosynthesis happens in presence of sunlight, so which is on the daytime. So during day the stomata is open and at night it is closed. Now this diagrammatic representation is stomata with less, we can say that with bean shaped guard cells, this is for the dicot plant, and with dumbbell shaped guard cells, which is for the dicot plant. Okay, so there is a shape variation for both monocot and the dicot plant. So this is for the dicot one, kidney shaped, and this is for the monocot, which is dumbbell shaped. Now let us see what are the raw materials for photosynthesis. Now, the stomata is surrounded by certain epidermal cells. This we will see once again, surrounded by epidermal cells which are usually transparent and they do not have chloroplasts in them. So, what is the role of stomatal pore? We have seen that these are the guard cells, and inside this the stomatal pore is there. So, what is the role of this stomatal pore? So, stomatal pore allows the exchange of gases, carbon dioxide and water vapor between the plant and the environment. So what is this doing? This pore is helping for the gaseous exchange. Okay, so this pore is always helping the plant for the gaseous exchange, the exchange of oxygen, the exchange of carbon dioxide, and the exchange of water vapor between the plant and its environment. So again, next comes this important part, what is a turgor pressure. So what is turgor pressure? This is a new topic. The opening and the closing of the stomata, I have told you just now, is controlled by the water content of the guard cells. So that water content of the guard cells is maintained by the turgor pressure. So when it is the turgor pressure is more, the guard cells will be filled with water, but when they lose the turgidity or the turgor pressure is less, then they will become flaccid. Okay, so what are the two terms we are learning here? One is turgid and another one is flaccid. In higher classes you will study this in details, but for 7th standard, this one just you know this, the turgid means the cells are filled with water. The cells are filled with water, and when it is flaccid, the cells, they lose water. Okay, so turgid and flaccid, this is they are filled with water and they lose water. So this is the turgid condition and that is the flaccid condition. When they are filled with water, they are open stomata. When they lose water, they are closed. So is it clear to all of you? Now we will move on to the raw materials of photosynthesis. So the first raw material of photosynthesis is carbon dioxide. Okay, so plants take carbon dioxide from the air and through the tiny pores called stomata present on their leaves. Okay, so water is the second ingredient. Plants absorb water from the soil. Okay, so they are absorbing water from the soil. This water is transported to the leaves via the tiny tubes, that is the xylem. Okay, now sunlight provides the energy needed for the process of photosynthesis. Leaves capture sunlight using a green pigment called the chlorophyll. Now chlorophyll, this green pigment found in the chloroplasts of the plant cells traps the sunlight to convert carbon dioxide and water into food. Okay, so this chlorophyll, what is the chlorophyll? This is the green pigment found in the chloroplasts of the plant cells. They traps the sunlight to convert the carbon dioxide and water into the food. Okay, so the main things of raw materials of photosynthesis are carbon dioxide, water, sunlight and chlorophyll. So these are the main components or main raw materials of photosynthesis, and they all are very important for this process. If one is also absent, no photosynthesis will happen. Okay. So here we can get one question, that why is leaf called the photosynthetic organ of a plant? So we can either tell stem is the photosynthetic organ of the plant. We could have told that fruit is the photosynthetic organ of the plant, or flower. Why it's only the leaf which is the photosynthetic organ of the plant? Because the leaf is the primary organ of the plant that performs photosynthesis, which is the process of making food we have studied earlier. So now we can say that this primary organ or specialized organ, why it is the photosynthetic organ? It is specially designed to perform photosynthesis because they trap the sunlight using the chlorophyll or the green colored pigment in the sun. They absorb the carbon dioxide from the air through stomata. So the green color pigments or the chlorophyll is trapping the sunlight. They are absorbing carbon dioxide through the stomata in the air. So all things are present only especially in the leaves, right? They are receiving water from the roots through the veins, and they make food in the form of glucose and distribute to other parts of the plant. So glucose is stored in plant in the form of starch. It is converted again in the form of starch. In this starch form only it is stored in different parts of the plant body. Okay, so this is why leaf is called the photosynthetic organ of the plant. It's clear to all of you now? So once again, we will stress on the special features of the leaf. What are the special features? Large surface area. So it is having a broad, large surface area to trap more sunlight. Thin structure to allow the easy diffusion of carbon dioxide and oxygen. It is having a thin layer, thin structure, which is it is helping it to the easy diffusion of carbon dioxide and oxygen. Okay, now presence of stomata for gaseous exchange. Chloroplasts these are present in large numbers in the cells of leaves, especially in the upper part to capture the light. So stomata is always present mostly in the lower part, and whereas chloroplast cells, they are present in the upper part of to capture the sunlight. Okay, so in short, a leaf is called a photosynthetic organ because it has all the necessary structures and functions to carry out photosynthesis, which is essential for the plant to make its own food. So now I think it's clear to all of you now. I have explained in details the structure, the large surface area, the presence of stomata, chloroplasts. In short, the leaf is the photosynthetic organ because it is having all the necessary structures and functions to carry out photosynthesis, which is essential for the plant to make its own food. So this is the answer of that question, why leaf is called the photosynthetic organ of a plant. Is it clear to all of you now? Now let's move on to the structure of the chloroplast. So what is a chloroplast? A chloroplast is a green colored organelle found in the plant cells, and it is a site where photosynthesis occurs, allowing the plant to make food using sunlight, carbon dioxide and water. So these chloroplasts are the part where the sunlight is trapped and the photosynthesis is happening in this green colored cell organelle of the plant, right? So this chloroplast is having many parts. So just we will have a quick look on this because this is not very important for our syllabus, but we will just go through it. So it is having an outer membrane and it is having an inner membrane. So the chloroplast is surrounded by a smooth double layered membrane. The outer membrane is semi-permeable, that is certain substances can enter through these membrane, and the inner membrane lies beneath the outer membrane. It also regulates the movement of materials in and out of the chloroplast. So this inner membrane, it is regulating the movement of materials from inside to outside and from outside to inside as well. Now comes the stroma. So where is the stroma? This space part is the stroma, which is a fluid filled space in the chloroplast. It contains enzyme, DNA, ribosomes and other molecules needed for the second stage of photosynthesis. So the first stage and second stage of photosynthesis you will learn in 9th and 10th standard. So till then no need to learn that in detail. So you just understand that this stroma is a fluid filled part. It is containing enzymes, DNA and ribosomes, and the second stage of photosynthesis, that is the Kelvin cycle, happens here, which details we will discuss in the later classes. Now we have studied till this stroma part. So on the stroma, these are the thylakoids or flattened disc-like structures found in stacks. These are called the grana. Okay, so these are this full is the thylakoids and each stack is called the grana. Singular is granum. And these thylakoid membranes, they contain chlorophyll, and green pigment traps the sunlight, and this light dependent reactions of photosynthesis is happening in this chloroplast of the cell. So there is a dark phase of photosynthesis also, but this light phase happens here. Now this grana, what is the grana? We have told it is a stack of thylakoids like a pile of coin. You can see here they look like a pile of coin kept together. So this pile of coin is what? That is grana, which are connected to each other like a tube-like structure called lamellae. So many new terms we are learning in 7th standard. First one is thylakoid, second one is grana, which is present inside the chloroplast. These are like a pile of coins, and this chlorophyll is found inside the thylakoid membranes. It absorbs the light energy, which is essential for photosynthesis. Is it clear? Now the lamellae, what are the lamellae doing? This lamellae, these are the extensions that connect the grana to help transport materials from between them. Okay, so they are helping to transport the materials between them. Then comes the chloroplast DNA. Okay, so these are a bit complex things. Just go through it once. If you remember, it's fine. If you don't remember, then also there is no hard and fast rule to remember that. Just main things in this chloroplast you should remember is they are having thylakoids. Thylakoids is made up of grana and they contain chlorophyll, and these are the pile of coin-like structures, and we can see that there are lamellae, which are the extensions which are connecting the grana to help the transport of materials between them, and this base is called the stroma, which is having a liquid or a fluid filled inside it, right? So let us move on to the last part. So what are the functions of each part of the chloroplast? The thylakoids, they are the site of light dependent reaction, that is trapping the sunlight to produce energy. The stroma, it is the site of Kelvin cycle where the glucose is formed, and chlorophyll, which traps the sunlight and initiates the process of photosynthesis. So these are the functions of each individual parts of this chloroplast. So this is all for today's episode. We have learned today what is photosynthesis, what is the structure of the stomata, sorry, and what are the raw materials required for photosynthesis. Leaf as a photosynthetic organ. We have also discussed about the full structure of chloroplast. Okay, so in the next class, what we are going to discuss, we are going to discuss the process of photosynthesis in details, factors of photosynthesis, then 3 experiments where we are going to prove that the presence of starch in leaf and light is necessary and chlorophyll is necessary for the process of photosynthesis, and then at last we will discuss about the significance of photosynthesis in detail. So you need to subscribe to my channel to get the next episode update. So if you are subscribing, as soon as I update the next lesson, you will be getting the update and you can complete your full revision of photosynthesis. So stay tuned, stay updated, and keep on viewing my lesson and sharing it with your friend. Thank you. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye. See you soon in the next episode.